Yes, hello there. 30 minutes of animated football discussion on the way. Welcome to the ESPN SoccerNet Press Bar studio. My name's Derek Ray. I'm joined here by Tommy Smith, and also with us, as I mentioned, is the one and only Frank Leboeuf. I want to start by talking about Roberto Mancini, the Manchester City manager. We do talk a lot about him on this particular programme, but he's inclined to blame other clubs for raising the price when City have an interest in players. This is what Mancini has said. When Manchester City want to buy a player, other clubs ask much more than is normal. This is not good and it is not right. We are interested in good players like Balotelli and Milner, but we have time before the market closes in August. Tommy, does he have a point?
No, he has no point at all. Absolutely not. I'm not telling him to go out and buy those players. If he makes a bid for somebody and the price is too high, then you just walk away. If I go to buy an automobile and the guy says to me, OK, it's 5,000 more than what I was prepared to pay for it, am I going to pay for it? But if you're flaunting it, like Man City have done, and they have flaunted it, and now it comes time to buy, that's the time you get crucified. I mean, everybody knows they have money to spend. Everybody knows they're foolish in the way they spend money. They have spent money foolishly for the last 2 years. So everybody knows out there that, you know, there's a sucker born every minute. And right now, Manchester City are the suckers as far as the other football clubs are concerned. I'm sorry, Roberto, but that's the irony, and that's the facts.
All right, let's see what Frank has to say about this. Frank, Yaya Toure, is he a £200,000 a week player? Manchester City and Roberto Mancini think so. If they are willing to pay somebody like Yaya Toure that sort of cash, then it's always going to be the way, isn't it, that teams will feel that City are big spenders, big payers.
Yes, it is, you know, and I wonder why did I stop playing soccer, you know, so early. But really, it's getting crazy, and even if I like Yaya Toure and I respect his talent, you know, I don't think he worth that amount of money. I don't think if any player, you know, worth that amount of money. And I think Mancini and Manchester City showed to the world that they were ready to pay for anybody a crazy amount of money, you know, for the transfer and also for the wage. So now he's backing up because he's realizing that they're only one moving the transfer market at the moment, and that people are thinking they're all fools in that club. So now he's backing up and saying, okay, we have the time now. So it's a kind of a game, you know, they are playing, because of course, you know, it's like Milner, you know, 20 million pounds, I think it's a lot. Even if it's a talented player, I think it's a lot. And Aston Villa, they want 30 million pounds. So it's getting completely crazy. When I remember that Zola 15 years ago cost 4.9 million pounds to Chelsea, and it was a Chelsea record at the time. So you see the amount in 15 years is like quadruple.
But aren't they deciding this, Frank? Aren't they making these decisions themselves by being so foolish? I mean, I know you have a blue shirt on you. I think maybe you're trying to get Mancini to buy you too. I don't know how much you'd be worth, but you're probably worth a lot of money the way they've inflated these prices. I mean, they're the only team in the world that's spending money, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's what I said. You know, they're the only one. And you need that. You know, I mean, it's like a dynamo game. You know, when you see that one big club is buying a big player, so and now the club who receive the money is going to buy maybe 3 players, average ones, and he's going to dispatch the money. So, and I just want to say something before I forget that. To the people who don't know how it works, but the transfer money doesn't go to the player's pocket. That they have to, maybe if they have in a contract a percentage of it, but normally it goes to one club to another club. But still, it's getting crazy. And Manchester City is the only club moving because Chelsea doesn't do anything. They bought 3 players, you know, Balak left, but Cole came. Benayoun came. Cole signed to Liverpool. So it's already free transfer right now. And Manchester is the only one who does something, but at the end of the day, they do crazy things for maybe players who are not worth it. So it's going anywhere, nowhere. I don't know. The football is getting crazy.
Well, Frank, our viewers around the world have been weighing in on the subject of Manchester City. ESPNSoccerNet.com is the website, remember. Look for the press pass link. This from Jason in Woonona in Australia. What is it with the transfer market? All I read is Manchester City want to buy just about every player. Surely they're looking at 1 or 2 and not the whole of Europe. And another Jason, this one in Bridgetown in Barbados. What are Manchester City really doing? Are they entering 2 teams in the Premier League this season? It seems as if Mancini is interested in every single decent player. And Tommy, we've had a few questions and comments on that same theme.
Yeah, well, you know, he's made his bed now. He has to lie in it. As Frank said, it's backing up on him now. It's starting to cause him a problem. And I can see that, you know, it's going to be good for players who are going to be signed by Man City. But it's not going to be good for the rest of the players, because there are a lot of clubs that feel that they're probably in the running to get a lot of money out of Man City, but coming towards the end of the transfer window, there's going to be a fire sale. And I can see big clubs just waiting around like Sir Alex saying, OK, I have my eye on somebody here that want to go to Man City. Well, I'll get them for half that price when the Man City decides they don't want them. So it may be in favour of the players now, but I think that it's going to change, Derek.
All right, we shall see. Now, a player who certainly is on the City radar screen is Mario Balotelli, prodigiously gifted. Of course, Roberto Mancini used to work with him at Inter. Ivan Cordoba, the Inter defender, has had this to say: Balotelli is having tantrums and he doesn't know what to do. You can't understand what he wants. I advise him to find himself another team so he can rediscover his motivation. What about Mancini himself on this subject? I do not think he has character problems, talking about Balotelli. When you are young, you make mistakes. That is true of all of us. I do not think he is a hard player to work with. I think he is a fantastic player. Frank, nobody could really say that he's not a tremendous player, Balotelli. The problem is with the lack of maturity and the tantrums. Is he worth the bother as far as City are concerned?
Well, I think of course, he's a talented player. You know, I've seen him a couple of times playing, you know, and I think he has a talent, that's for sure. But talent is not enough, you know, if you don't respect your teammates, if you don't show commitments, total commitments, meaning when you lose the ball, you know, you fight to get it back. And sometimes I saw him, you know, trying to take some players on, but missing it, you know, and stopping. And that's not what you do when you're 19 or 20 years old. You know, you fight for your position, you fight for your teammates, and you fight for the club. And he's talented. I think he behaves like a spoiled guy. But you know, we saw lots of stars, you know, or future stars doing like that. And after they grow up and they get better, they understand. Maybe they have some explanation in the dressing room. But I think he really has to grow up. And maybe going to Manchester City can teach him something, because I don't think English players, you know, will accept that kind of behavior, and the fans too. If you don't fight on the field when you play in England, you know, you go nowhere.
But isn't Mancini setting himself up for another fall here, Frank? I mean, he's saying that there's absolutely nothing wrong with Balotelli's character. I mean, if it doesn't work out, and isn't he playing into Balotelli's hands? If Balotelli has problems, and you have to believe that he has, if Jose Mourinho feels that you have problems, I think that you have problems. So isn't Mancini putting himself out on a limb here and giving everybody a saw so that he can just cut it off and let him fall down again?
I don't really know, you know, what's going on behind everything, you know, but it's true that, you know, I don't want to accuse anybody, but it's true that sometimes, you know, agent works, or coach, you know, or managers work with some agent, you know, so it may be good for Mancini's pocket to sign Balotelli. So it's interesting to see why he's saying that, you know, and why he's taking so much risk to say that the player will bring so much to Manchester City, which I don't doubt, you know, because I think he's a good player, but his behavior will have to change. And Mancini maybe knows how to handle that situation with him, you know. So we'll see, and we'll see how he behaves if he signs for Manchester City.
Tommy, Manchester City have deeper pockets than most at the moment. If you were in the shoes of Roberto Mancini, would you consider that it's worth taking a punt on Balotelli?
Yeah, if I got him for the right price.